Getting so many younger guys out there, does that kind of send a message to the upperclassmen that just because you're an older guy, that doesn't mean your spot's safe?
Well, I think that's the message around this place anyway. This place is all about earning it. Young guy, old guy, doesn't make any difference, and we as coaches have to earn it too. I mean, that's one of those things, and I think we all as our staff believe the same thing, that you only get what you earn, and our players believe that, and they're told that during the recruiting process, so it's certainly not a surprise to them.
Do you have a number in mind, I guess, when you come in on Monday, for how many guys you would want to play on Saturday?
Well, I hope we played a lot, but you know, it'd be nice to play your complete two deep and maybe more, but you know what? You don't really have any control over that. I mean, we're going to start the game with, you know, a rotation in mind and stick with it and then see what happens.
Hey, Barney, just looking at their depth chart, their D line, it's a little small. I mean, at least what they list. Is that what you see on film?
Well, I mean, you can look at their weights and you can watch film. I do know 93 and their one defensive end, Williams. Those guys are real good quality football players. You know, very active guys. 93 is a lot like, you know, our Thad Randall. You know, and Williams is a good pass rusher. You know, if the question, I mean, we're taking these guys very seriously.
Well, that's not the question. I'm just looking at the size.
Well, we play against different size guys all the time. Sometimes smaller guys are harder to block than bigger guys because it's harder to get your hands on them. So, you know, hopefully you've got sound technique and get your hands on them and get your feet in the right place that you can keep hats on hats, because that's what, you know, we got to block D linemen first before we ever worry about getting the linebackers.
What's Marcel's back held up since coming back to practice?
Hadn't missed a rep.
Coach, with some of these younger guys on the line, do you have any concerns heading into Saturday?
No, youth actually is a good thing, because youth has brought competition and youth has brought enthusiasm, and those are both two nice byproducts of, you know, having some young guys mixed in with some old guys.
Bo talked about just kind of how impressed he was with Tyler Moore before he got here, and now that he was actually here. Was that kind of your feeling as well?
Absolutely. We were extremely impressed when he was a 10th grader, and you know, and then he committed to us early into his junior year, and really technically sound for a young guy. Plus, having a young guy that had the desire to forego his senior spring in high school. You know, he's in spring football when he should have been going to prom. So I mean, he's a guy that was very committed to making the jump to college when he did, and so he doesn't have a fall camp. He's got a winter and a spring and a summer and a fall camp under his belt, so he's much less the rookie than some guys are when they first get here in the summer.
When he first got here, was he pretty far along mentally with that, or is that something that just being here that extra time, that's where he started?
Well, I think being here the extra time, but he's got a good football mind. I mean, some guys have a better football mind than others, but he's picked up stuff very well.
But physically, you know, linemen, usually in Nebraska, you have that maturing process. Have the linemen changed, high school kids coming
Well,
back?
I think there's less maturing now than there used to be, because, you know, you got 85 scholarships instead of 120 scholarships, something like that you used to have back in the day. So you're playing some guys younger. And, you know, and this year, you know, it's going to be we're either going to be very experienced or absolutely unexperienced, and they're all going to be mixed together. But like I said before, having some youth and the extra competition in the room, that's a good thing, because that makes for a more enthusiastic practice, and you got older guys mentoring younger guys, but you got younger guys pushing older guys, so that's a good thing.
Is it that communication, though, that chemistry on the line?
Well, that's what me and John's job is, that we've got to make sure that we are communicating, but we've got, by the time game time comes around, we'll have 29 plus 15, that's 44 practices. And so hopefully that will be good enough that, we'll have as few amount of errors, mentally and communication-wise as possible, because we have worked together.
Did you, back to that, you going upstairs, did you see the game way better up there?
I don't know, I've only done it once.
I can't remember.
I mean, it's more like watching film. And plus when I was down on the field, I spent a lot of time watching replays on the Jumbotron too. Absolutely, because you get a great view. Because you get to watch the play, then you watch the film.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time, used to didn't have that opportunity, but shoot, when they replay the play, and while you're getting the next play, and I'm not calling the play, shoot, I can watch the previous play, and then move on to the next play and still catch it all.
Hey, you still do that upstairs?
Oh yeah. but I'll have probably a better bird's eye view initially.